Okay, so if you can just very briefly introduce yourself. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Acacia. I'm Asia lead for Trend Watching. We are a consumer trends firm, and I'm based in Singapore, taking care of Asia Pacific region.
So you mentioned about
Synthetic inclusion.
inclusion
Yes.
and AI. So that's a topic I've not heard much about. So, and you made an example. You provided some example, but can you talk a little bit more about the concept and how did you? Why is this something you talked about at the end, and you can elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. So synthetic inclusion is really this idea of a trend and really an innovation opportunity to use AI to broaden access that will combat inequality. So there is this idea that DEI has always been a buzz topic for many years now, and everybody says that they care about DEI, they have DEI goals, and they're trying to further DEI in many areas. But in many ways, if you look at studies and statistics and where people are right now and sentiments of people towards the topic, they actually feel that there's a lot of talk but not enough execution and reality. And then if you throw in AI into the mix, actually there's a very real danger that AI actually makes things worse, because we're already seeing this with bias algorithm, right? Like all the data that's been used to train AI models have historically been pretty biased and pretty skewed towards like certain majority groups. And therefore the AI models that you get are also pretty biased, and we already see these examples with Google Gemini or with the Meta AI generator, the image generator. So on the other hand, actually, there is a very real opportunity for innovators to use AI and subvert this whole expectation that actually AI is not just going to make the problem worse, but AI can be the thing that solves the problem and solves the issue. And there are many, many ways that AI can do this. So just very quickly, in the presentation, I talk about one example, but I can give you like 3 main ways, for example, of how AI can be used to create synthetic inclusion, which is essentially this idea of promoting inclusion and equal access to like services, offerings, and essential services, basically. So the first thing really is in raising awareness. We know that image generators is a pretty powerful tool for people to create content, and there are many people already starting to use AI image generators to imagine a world, let's say, without systemic racism. What would it be if there was no racism in the world? How would life look like? And image generators, when you prompt them correctly, actually can help you create images that do that. And they might not do much in terms of like practical utility, but they actually raise a lot of awareness and they generate a lot of buzz on social media as well. So that's one example. The second example is that AI can create services that really promote inclusivity. So for example, Tencent Video in China used AI to create accessible films on their movie streaming platform. So these accessible films function like radio dramas, basically. So they have detailed descriptions, detailed narration, so that people can visualize what they can't see. And usually these accessible films take very long and they're really expensive to produce, but with AI they can cut the production time and production cost to a fraction of it, and so it makes things more accessible for people, so like individual benefits for individuals. And then you can also do this on a macro societal level. So the example I shared in my presentation is Atmo AI. It's this weather forecasting model that uses AI to make it easier for individual markets to create very targeted, very tailored weather forecasting models that have traditionally actually been really expensive to create. So only countries that have money have been able to create weather forecasting models that are really targeted for their markets, whereas developing markets here like the Philippines, and the Philippines actually is the most typhoon-prone market in the world, but they have never had a weather forecasting system that's made just for them, because they've been using hand-me-downs of like weather forecasting models from other developed markets. So it hasn't been very accurate, it can't help them mitigate the disasters very well, but now AI is actually helping them do that with more targeted, specific weather forecasting models just for their market. So just 3 simple ways of how AI really can be used to promote inclusivity, equity, and fairness in society.
So the last one. So basically you think there's a lot of very interesting opportunities for AI to custom build solutions that fit specific needs and pain points in regions of the world apart from the West.
Yes, correct. And usually these kind of custom built solutions can be pretty expensive and pretty difficult to build, but AI actually can help you do that, again, in a fraction of the cost, in a fraction of the time, and it enables, essentially it democratizes access to all of these basic essential needs and services for people in markets that might have been underserved before because of budget and economic constraints.
Perfect.